You don't have a sleep problem. You have a recovery problem. If you're sleeping 8 hours every night and still waking up exhausted, it's easy to assume that something is wrong with you. You start questioning yourself. Maybe you're lazy. Maybe you're getting older. Maybe this is just what adulthood feels like. But in many cases, the real problem is much simpler. You're sleeping, but you're not recovering. Most people treat sleep like charging a phone. You plug yourself into bed for 8 hours, and by morning, you expect to wake up at 100%. But your body doesn't work like a battery. It's more like a repair shop. Every night, your body has a list of jobs to complete. It needs to repair damaged cells, regulate hormones, process emotions, strengthen memories, restore energy, and prepare you for another day. And just like any repair shop, the quality of the work depends on whether the workers can actually do their job. If mechanics are constantly interrupted, repairs don't get finished. Your body works the same way. Maybe you've experienced this yourself. You sleep for 8 or 9 hours, yet you wake up feeling as if you barely slept at all. You reach for coffee before you've even fully opened your eyes. By mid-afternoon, you're already exhausted again. The confusing part is that, technically, you did everything right. You went to bed. You stayed in bed. You slept long enough. But sleep duration and sleep quality are not the same thing. You can spend 8 hours unconscious and still miss out on the deep, restorative stages of sleep your body depends on. Stress is one of the biggest reasons. Many people think stress only causes insomnia. They imagine stressed people lying awake all night staring at the ceiling. But stress often works differently. You may fall asleep without any problem at all. The issue is that your nervous system never fully relaxes. Your brain remains slightly alert, as if it's standing guard through the night. You stay asleep, but lightly. Your body never fully enters the deeper stages where real recovery happens. This is why someone can sleep less than you and still wake up with more energy. Their body completed the repair process. Yours may have spent the entire night trying to start it. And it's not just stress. Late night scrolling, inconsistent sleep schedules, alcohol, caffeine, poor sleep environments, or even untreated conditions like sleep apnea can repeatedly interrupt the body's recovery process without you realizing it. The important realization is this. The goal isn't to spend more time in bed. The goal is to give your body the conditions it needs to recover. Because when recovery improves, energy usually follows. And when you understand that, you stop blaming yourself for being tired. You stop seeing exhaustion as a personal failure. You start treating it as feedback. Your body isn't working against you. It's trying to tell you that something in the recovery process needs attention. What actually happens while you sleep? Most people think sleep is passive. You close your eyes, lose consciousness for a few hours, and wake up. It feels as though nothing happened in between. But that's not what sleep is. Sleep is one of the most active biological processes your body performs. In many ways, your body does some of its most important work while you're unconscious. The easiest way to understand this is to stop thinking of sleep as switching off. Think of it as entering a scheduled maintenance period. Imagine owning a factory that operates every day without stopping. Machines run continuously. Parts wear down. Waste accumulates. Systems drift out of alignment. Eventually, the factory needs downtime. Not because it's broken, but because continuous operation without maintenance eventually leads to failure. Your body works exactly the same way. Every day, you're consuming energy, processing information, making decisions, managing emotions, fighting off pathogens, repairing tissues, and responding to stress. By night, there is work that needs to be done. And sleep is when that work happens. During the first part of the night, your body prioritizes physical restoration. Heart rate slows. Blood pressure drops. Breathing becomes deeper and more regular. Your muscles relax. Then your body enters deeper stages of sleep. This is where much of the physical repair happens. Growth hormone is released. Damaged cells begin repairing themselves. Proteins are synthesized to rebuild tissues. The immune system becomes more active. This is one reason why people often need more sleep when they're sick or recovering from intense physical training. Your body is asking for more time in the repair shop. But physical recovery is only half of the story. Your brain has its own maintenance schedule. Throughout the day, your brain processes an enormous amount of information. Conversations, worries, notifications, decisions, problems, emotions, unfinished tasks. None of that simply disappears when you fall asleep. Your brain has to sort through it. During sleep, memories are strengthened, unnecessary information is discarded, and emotional experiences are processed. Think about how often a problem seems impossible at night, but suddenly feels manageable the next morning. You didn't consciously solve it. Your brain continued working while you slept. Sleep also helps regulate emotions. This is why even small inconveniences can feel overwhelming after a poor night's sleep. The issue isn't usually the problem itself. It's that your emotional regulation system hasn't fully recovered. You've probably experienced this before. After several nights of poor sleep, you become more impatient. Small mistakes frustrate you. Motivation disappears. Concentration becomes difficult. Many people interpret this as laziness or burnout. Often, it's simply an under-recovered brain. Perhaps the most fascinating part is that while you sleep, your brain also cleans itself. During deep sleep, a network known as the glymphatic system becomes more active, clearing away metabolic waste products that build up throughout the day. In simple terms, your brain takes out the trash. This means sleep isn't optional maintenance. It's essential maintenance. And when that maintenance process is interrupted night after night, the effects eventually show up everywhere. Your energy, mood, focus, creativity, health, and ability to handle life. This is why being tired after 8 hours of sleep can feel so confusing. Because the question isn't, did you sleep? The better question is, did your body and brain have enough uninterrupted time to complete the work they needed to do? The hidden reason you rarely reach deep sleep. Here's something most people never consider. You can be asleep without ever getting the kind of sleep that truly restores you. This is where many people get trapped. They look at the clock and see 8 hours in bed, so they assume recovery should automatically happen. When they still feel exhausted, they become frustrated because the math doesn't make sense. But your body doesn't measure sleep the way you do. You measure time. Your body measures quality. Deep sleep is the stage where much of the heavy repair work happens. It's when your nervous system finally shifts into a state of genuine restoration. Hormones are regulated. Physical repair accelerates. The brain begins its cleanup process. The problem is that modern life is remarkably good at preventing deep sleep. Stress is one of the biggest reasons. Think about how many people spend their evenings. They finish work, scroll through social media, answer messages, watch videos, worry about finances, think about tomorrow's responsibilities, and finally collapse into bed. Physically, they're exhausted. Mentally, they're still running. The body may be in bed, but the mind is still at work. Your nervous system cannot instantly shift from high alert to deep recovery. Imagine driving your car at full speed on the highway and expecting the engine to cool down the moment you park. It doesn't work that way. Systems need time to transition. Your brain works similarly. If you've spent the entire day under pressure, your stress hormones may remain elevated long after you've fallen asleep. This is why some people fall asleep easily, yet still wake up tired. Their body slept. Their nervous system never fully relaxed. And stress doesn't always look dramatic. Sometimes it looks like constantly thinking, replaying conversations, mentally rehearsing tomorrow, carrying unfinished work into the evening, feeling unable to truly switch off. You may not even notice you're stressed because you've become accustomed to living that way. For many people, constant mental activity has become normal, but your body still interprets it as a signal that the environment may not be safe enough for deep recovery. As a result, sleep becomes lighter. You drift in and out of deeper stages. You wake briefly throughout the night without remembering it. The repair process is repeatedly interrupted. Then morning arrives. You technically slept, but biologically, recovery remained incomplete. This is why exhaustion is not always a sign that you need more sleep. Sometimes it's a sign that your body needs more safety, more consistency, and more opportunities to fully let go. Deep sleep isn't something you force. It's something your body allows when conditions support it. And creating those conditions often begins long before your head touches the pillow. Your brain may be waking up all night without you knowing. One of the strangest things about sleep is that you can wake up dozens of times during the night and have absolutely no memory of it. Most people assume they either slept or they didn't. In reality, sleep exists on a spectrum. You can remain in bed for 8 hours while your brain repeatedly moves in and out of wakefulness. And because these awakenings are often only a few seconds long, You never consciously notice them, but your body does. Imagine trying to complete an important project while someone interrupts you every 10 minutes. You could eventually finish the work, but it would take much longer and the quality would suffer. Your brain experiences something similar during fragmented sleep. Each interruption pulls you out of the deeper stages of sleep where restoration happens. Even if you fall asleep again immediately, your body has to restart the process. Over the course of an entire night, these interruptions can add up. The result is simple. You wake up feeling as though you barely slept. Many things can cause these hidden awakenings. Sometimes it's obvious. A noisy environment, a room that's too hot, a partner moving beside you, frequent trips to the bathroom. But often, the causes are less visible. Snoring, breathing irregularities, chronic stress, alcohol consumption, or even subtle discomfort can repeatedly trigger brief awakenings. One of the most common yet overlooked examples is sleep apnea. People with sleep apnea repeatedly stop breathing during sleep. Each time this happens, the brain partially wakes the body to restart breathing. The person often has no memory of these events. They simply know that every morning feels like they never slept at all. This is why exhaustion should never be dismissed as normal. If you consistently wake up tired despite giving yourself enough time in bed, it may not be a motivation problem. It may not be a discipline problem. Your body may simply be fighting for quality sleep every single night. And because these interruptions happen outside of conscious awareness, many people spend years blaming themselves for a problem they didn't even know existed. The important lesson is this. Feeling tired is information. Your body is communicating something. The goal isn't to ignore that signal or push through it with more caffeine. The goal is to become curious about what may be interrupting the recovery process in the first place. Your mind may never truly shut off. There is another reason you can wake up exhausted even after sleeping all night. Your body may have rested, but your mind never stopped working. Modern life has created a strange problem. Most people are mentally active from the moment they wake up until the moment they fall asleep. Emails, notifications, news, work, family responsibilities, financial pressure, social media, endless decisions. Your brain rarely gets a genuine period of rest. And while sleep helps the brain recover, it cannot fully compensate for a life lived in a constant state of mental stimulation. Think about your average day. How often are you completely alone with your thoughts? How often do you sit in silence without reaching for your phone? For many people, the answer is almost never. The mind has become so accustomed to constant input that stillness feels uncomfortable. As a result, unresolved thoughts begin following us into bed. You lie down intending to sleep. Instead, your mind starts reviewing the day. You replay conversations. You think about mistakes. You rehearse future scenarios. You mentally prepare for tomorrow. You solve problems that don't yet exist. Hours may pass without you realizing how active your mind remains. Even if you eventually fall asleep, this pattern creates a different kind of exhaustion. Not physical exhaustion, mental exhaustion. And mental exhaustion is deceptive. Many people assume that if they're tired, they simply need more sleep. But sometimes what they actually need is less cognitive overload. Consider creative professionals, entrepreneurs, students, or parents. Many spend the entire day making decisions. Research in psychology shows that decision-making consumes mental resources. Over time, this creates what is often called decision fatigue. By evening, your brain isn't merely tired. It's saturated. When saturation becomes chronic, sleep alone may not feel restorative because the underlying pressure never disappears. Your brain continuously carries unfinished loops, open tasks, unresolved concerns, lingering stress. This is one reason why people often report feeling deeply tired after periods of prolonged stress, even when they are technically sleeping enough. The body can recover relatively quickly. The mind often requires more deliberate recovery. Recovery for the mind may involve boundaries, reflection, quiet, time away from screens, meaningful conversation, or simply creating moments during the day where nothing demands your attention. Because rest is not simply the absence of work. Rest is the presence of recovery. And if your mind never experiences recovery while you're awake, sleep is forced to carry a burden it was never designed to handle alone. Your daily habits may be quietly destroying your sleep. One of the hardest truths to accept is that sleep doesn't begin when you go to bed. Sleep begins the moment you wake up. The choices you make throughout the day shape the quality of the recovery you experience at night. Most people think of sleep as an isolated event. They stay busy all day, ignore their body's signals, and expect 8 hours in bed to fix everything. But the body doesn't separate day and night that way. Your body is constantly gathering information from your environment and adjusting accordingly. It pays attention to light exposure, movement, food intake, stress levels, routines, and stimulation. By bedtime, your body has already decided how prepared it is for deep recovery. Take caffeine as an example. Many people drink coffee in the afternoon because they're tired. The problem is that caffeine doesn't create energy. It temporarily blocks the brain's ability to feel tired. You may still fall asleep later that night, but caffeine can reduce the amount of deep sleep you experience without you realizing it. The next morning, you wake up tired, so you drink more caffeine, and the cycle repeats. Alcohol creates a similar illusion. Many people believe alcohol helps them sleep because it makes them drowsy, but sedation is not the same as restorative sleep. Alcohol often fragments sleep later in the night and reduces REM sleep, the stage involved in memory, emotional regulation, and cognitive recovery. You may fall asleep faster while recovering less. Screens create another challenge. For thousands of years, human beings ended their days with darkness. Today, many people spend the final hour before bed staring into bright screens while consuming endless streams of information. The brain struggles to interpret these signals. Bright light tells the body to remain alert. Constant stimulation tells the brain that there is still work to do. Then people wonder why they can't fully relax. Movement matters too. The human body was designed to move. Yet modern life often keeps people sitting for most of the day. A body that rarely moves can struggle to build sufficient sleep pressure, making deep sleep more difficult. None of this means you need a perfect routine. Perfection isn't the goal. Consistency is. Your body thrives on predictable rhythms. Going to bed and waking up at roughly the same time each day gives your internal systems a stable pattern to follow. And stable systems recover more efficiently. This is why improving sleep often has less to do with finding the perfect bedtime hack and more to do with examining how you live the other 16 hours of the day. Because when your daily habits support recovery, sleep becomes less of a battle and more of a natural process. What restorative sleep actually feels like. Many people have been tired for so long that they no longer remember what genuine rest feels like. Exhaustion becomes normal. Needing several alarms becomes normal. Relying on caffeine throughout the day becomes normal. Feeling mentally foggy by early afternoon becomes normal. But normal and healthy are not always the same thing. A surprising number of people are functioning far below their actual baseline without realizing it. So what does restorative sleep look like? First, you don't necessarily wake up feeling euphoric or overflowing with energy. Real life doesn't work that way, but you should feel capable. You should feel as though your body is willing to begin the day rather than immediately resisting it. You may still feel slightly sleepy when you first wake up. That's natural. What matters is what happens next. Within 30 to 60 minutes, your alertness should gradually increase. Your mind should become clearer. Your energy should stabilize. You shouldn't feel like you're fighting your own body from the moment you get out of bed. Healthy recovery also shows up in less obvious ways. Your mood becomes more stable. Small inconveniences no longer feel overwhelming. You think more clearly. You make decisions more easily. Your patience improves. Creativity returns. Problems that once felt impossible begin to feel manageable again. This is why chronic sleep deprivation is so deceptive. People often assume they are experiencing a motivation problem, a productivity problem, or even a personality problem. In reality, they may simply be under-recovered. Imagine trying to run complex software on a computer that hasn't been restarted in weeks. Everything still works, but it's slower, less responsive, more prone to errors. Your brain behaves similarly. Recovery restores performance. And this leads to an important question. If your sleep isn't restorative, what can you actually do? Start with the basics. Go to bed and wake up at consistent times. Reduce stimulation before bed. Get exposure to natural light early in the morning. Move your body during the day. Create moments of quiet so your mind has opportunities to slow down. And most importantly, pay attention to persistent fatigue. If you're consistently sleeping enough but still waking up exhausted, don't ignore it. Your body is providing useful information. Sometimes the answer is simple. Sometimes it requires medical support. Either way, exhaustion is not something you simply have to accept, because the goal isn't to become someone who sleeps more. The goal is to become someone who recovers better. And when recovery improves, almost every part of life becomes easier.